Welcome back to another episode of Keen on Australia. This episode is going to be a bit of Q&A. Obviously, I do a lot of live events. I get a lot of people message me, email me, all those sorts of things. So it's a bit of a collection of some of those questions, and I'm going to answer them off because they're obviously things that are getting asked quite commonly. So hopefully this covers some things you need. If you've got any questions, you can always reach out to us, and if it's something that we can, we'll get someone in and do a whole show on it. So let's jump into it and see what we've got for today. First one is, are schools zoned? Yes. So all public schools will generally be zoned to an area, and if you're not living in that area, especially in the popular places like Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sydney, etc., it is very hard to get into a school that you're not zoned for. If it is a private school, they will have their own rules. Normally, you can live anywhere, etc., but they'll have their own rules and checks on entry. And obviously, being private, you pay for it and all those sorts of things. But yes, public schools are generally zoned. And one of the hardest bits with moving is you're probably going to need an address before you can get the kids into school. And an Airbnb or similar address makes it very, very hard. How young is too young to move? Well, realistically, you've got to be able to legally move from home, so that's not normally an issue. A lot of countries, that's 16, 17, 18, just depending on the country. But 18, I've helped people in the 18, 19 move. So as long as you know what you're up for and you're in for an adventure, I would just recommend as long as you've got enough in your bank account to go home if you had to. Um, Give it a crack. You're young. You've got nothing to really lose. You're not got attachments. You don't have kids. Well, sorry, you may not have kids, but you probably don't have kids. You probably don't have businesses, houses, all that sort of stuff at that age. So it's a pretty good thing that you can just have a crack if you want. What can you do before you move? Ooh, good question. What can you do before you move? Educate yourself. That is definitely one of the biggest ones. Find as many things as you can on education, plan out what you need to do, make sure you've got all your steps involved. Our ebook's great for that. Obviously, it gives you a step-by-step thing to do when you first arrive. Jump in as many places like forums and stuff as you can, the internet groups, watch videos, social media. Just get as much education on where you want to go, and work out. So you've got your eyes open and you've got a budget and you know what to expect. The more you're moving, the more this is important. Obviously, if you're a couple with a couple of kids, it's not just your life, it's three or four other people's lives, and you've got some quite serious dependents. Again, if you're just 18, 19, 20, and it's you, just make sure you know what you're up for. Uh, what is a WOVI on a car? Sorry, WOVI on a car. So this is a car that has been written off but repairable and put back on the road. Be very careful buying them. You want to get them very, very cheap. They can be hard to sell. A lot of people won't want to buy them, and you need to check that you can get insurance with an insurance company before you buy it. And like I say, unless it's dirt cheap, I don't recommend touching one. How long do I have to get a driver's license? Depending on each state, it's a little bit different. I'm here in Queensland. Here in Queensland, you've got 3 months to get a driver's license from when you arrive. But every state is a little bit different, so you need to look up the state you're going to. Can I get a home loan as soon as I arrive? Yes. Theoretically, we've helped lots of people get home loans as soon as they arrive, but in the basic, as long as you've got a strong deposit and the income to prove that you can pay for the home, we've had people get loans basically as soon as they arrive, really in the first couple of weeks, and help them buy houses straight away. So it's definitely doable. If you've got any questions about that, just reach out to me because obviously it's a very case by case thing. What is the best way to pay my rent and bond when I'm moving from overseas? Jump back a couple of shows, I think it is, two, maybe three. We did a show with a company called TorFX. They're a foreign exchange provider. Companies like that provide a virtual wallet. You put your money into it, and it's sitting somewhere that you can pay Australian bank accounts. When you get your bond and rent account sent to you to pay, you just give it to them and say, I want to pay $5,000, say, into this Australian bank account. They take it from your account to that account. Then, as soon as you get here, obviously the rest of the money they put into your bank account that you open here in Australia that's left over. But that is a good place to keep money to pay bond and stuff. Because what you do need to do and be very careful with over here, rental properties, especially in the busy areas, they will ask you to pay your deposit and bond, and you have 24 hours to pay it. If not, they'll give it to someone else. They're not joking. If you can't get that money in there quickly, you can lose the rental. So yeah, jump back a couple of shows, listen to that one on Tour FX. They're a good provider. There's lots of other options out there. But basically, have your money in some sort of virtual wallet that can pay direct to Australia. You can do it with a foreign exchange transfer from New Zealand or America or wherever you're living. But the problem with that is you need Swift codes for the bank. A lot of the rental managers don't have them. Takes a few days to show up. Can be a bit more expensive. If you want to look great as a tenant and do it quickly, get a virtual Australia wallet and pay directly out of that. What do you do? What do I do? Well, obviously I make podcasts and that like this, but my day-to-day job is I own a company called Keen on Property, and I specialize in helping people relocate to Australia. We help them buy houses, we help them rent houses, get mortgages, all that sort of stuff. So anything to do with a move, we have a lot of free education and information, that's all out there, but our core business is helping you get established into a home when you get here, whether that's a rental house or a house to buy. If you want to find out more, jump on keenonproperty.com or email me or message me through any of our socials. Why do trolleys have four steering wheels? This one comes up a lot, and my honest answer is I don't know. For you, people living overseas that don't understand, when you go to a supermarket or anything like that here, you've got your trolley that you push your goods around in. In Australia, for some reason, the back wheels and the front wheels can turn direction for steering. Um, it's really weird when you're not used to it. No one has given me a good answer on why. Everyone just says just because. And the other question that goes with that, which again, depending on where you are in the world, is very strange. Why don't the petrol dispensers stay locked up on autofill? So most parts of the world, you click the handle up on a petrol dispenser, flick the wee tab in, it fills the car. When the car's full, it goes click and stops. In Australia, they're all disabled. Again, no one's given me a good answer why. A lot of people make some theory saying, oh, it's because someone turned one on and left it on the ground and was trying to burn the petrol station down. Another one said it's just because they're not safe. Lots of health and safety rumors around why, but no one has actually given me a genuine answer if they know. It just seems to be just because. How do I get on your live Zooms or your Facebook lives? Easiest way by far would be download our ebook, and it's got links for everything in it. You can get that off keenonproperty.com, free download. Or you can jump in our Facebook group. You can message me through any of our pages and I can put you in touch with them. But essentially, I do hold a lot of lives on Zoom and a lot of lives on Facebook. Basically, this is where some of these questions have come from. I will meet up with a group of people, we'll go over a topic, whether it's getting a rental house, buying a home, or just general moving stuff like tax files, Medicare, all those sorts of things. We do that in lives quite regularly. So if you want to be involved in any one of them and you're listening, just reach out through the page, reach out through whatever platform you're listening on. We'll be able to get you in there. And then they come up all the time. They're all free and they're just educational pieces that let people find out more. Aussie words, are there things you've had to adapt to? Well, look, Australian English is pretty good. Being that we moved from New Zealand and very close ties with Australia, most of the slang here we sort of knew what it was, but there's always the ones that are just a little bit different. You know, jandal, thong for the things that go on your feet, esky versus chili bin. Yeah, a lot of other stuff though, for especially for people moving from New Zealand, is very common. Yeah, nah, yeah, all that sort of stuff. Maybe some of the ones as you come up north here towards Queensland, like Sheila, that sort of thing, like, you know, that's a way of saying female woman. Some of that stuff's a bit different, but I personally found, because we spent a lot of time in Australia and we live so close to it, none of it was that hard to get used to. Maybe we should do a show of all the ones that people have found. We might get some people on and find out what the words are that they've found a bit different. I'll get some people on from three or four different parts of the world and we'll see what they have to say. This is a big one. Don't pay anyone for the following. A lot of people ask me about getting their tax file number and getting Medicare. Both of these are free applications. They're in my ebook. You can find them anywhere on the internet on the correct Australian government pages as forms to download or links to use to apply that are 100% free. Anyone charging to do a tax file number or Medicare, I would be very, very worried about of A, do they want your details and number, or B, are they just going to scam you out of the money and you get nothing? The only person I would ever consider paying to do a tax file number would be a licensed accountant here in Australia if you're going to work with one to do your taxes. A lot of people have a tax accountant here, or a lot of people might be moving and opening businesses and all that. When I moved, I knew I was going to have businesses, etc. So our tax file numbers we applied through our accountant for, and we paid them. But it definitely wasn't $69 or $99 or $149 off some random website. I don't know if they literally are just charging you 150 bucks to fill the forms in and you get a legit form, or the even worse side could be is they do it so they can see what your tax file number is and then sell it on the black market, or they use it for illicit purposes to apply for loans or anything like that. So just be very, very careful of anyone that's offering to do the tax file number or Medicare paperwork for you. We provide some videos that teach you how to do it for yourself. We give you the forms and the links to how to get the forms for free, but I don't do them. We don't fill them in. There is no need to have someone else have all the access to that data and do it for you, because it's very, very simple and it's free and it's a government form. So please don't catch up for that one. Hopefully that's helped you. I do these quite regularly. Obviously, the more lives we do, the more random questions we get. I keep a notebook of some of the more common questions, and then I'll address them on the show like this. So if you've got any questions, please reach out. We've got some interesting shows coming up, so keep an eye out for them. Obviously, follow us if you want to see every show that comes out. We're on all the major platforms, but obviously Spotify and Apple Podcast are probably the biggest ones, and YouTube. But anywhere you want to listen to us, you'll probably find us. And we look forward to seeing you on the next show of Keen in Australia. See you all again soon.